Hi everyone, welcome to this short series covering macros. This course was written and designed by Arielle Martin은, a creative specialist at Foundry. In the first episode, we'll cover creating a macro from a single node, and then we'll move on to create one from a group using reference expressions. So let's begin. The first question is, what is a macro? Well, a macro is a node or a set of nodes that can be saved and reused later on. So if there's a particular node or set of nodes that you use often, maybe even on a daily basis, then you can think about turning that into a macro and make that process a lot faster. A macro will really provide a way for you to create custom tools in Katana at a basic level. In this video, we'll first cover how to save a single node as a macro. This is the most simple way of using macros. So let's start with this Katana project. You can download it using the link attached to this video. Our aim here is to make a macro which will subdivide the geometry. If you've used Katana before, you probably already know how to subdivide an asset. But if not, you can watch the Getting Started series on the Foundry Learn tutorial page, which covers some of the basics. So we'll go ahead and subdivide this chess piece. Create an attribute set and change the attribute name to type, which will be a string value, and set the value to subd mesh. Drag in the path for the scene graph location, and the chess piece is now subdivided. So let's say getting subdivisions is something that you often do inside Katana. Maybe you don't want to go through that process every time you need to subdivide an asset. You might want it to be as easy as selecting a node from the overlay display. The easiest way to do that is to create a macro. Now I'm going to rename this node subdivision, but you can rename it however you want. And then I'll select the wrench icon at the top of the node's parameters and choose Save as Macro. Now by default, Katana will point to your home directory /katana/macros/user. This can be customized, but for now we'll just use these default settings. So save this macro in this specific location, and note that this is under the user directory. So this string will be part of the node's suffix. Once we've saved the macro, hit Tab, Subdivision, and you can see your node will pop up. It's called subdivision_user. You can also use the star key and search for _user to find all the nodes that are in your user directory. At the moment, this node will subdivide an asset with this specific hierarchy, so it's perfect if you want it to be very specific. Otherwise, if you want control, you could leave this parameter empty, so that the only thing you'll need to do from scene to scene is to drag in the path. What I would be more inclined to do is to set this parameter to a cell and leave it empty. So the next time I need to use this, I can either drag and drop the path I need to subdivide, or I can set it to an expression. And when we save out the macro a second time, this will overwrite the previous one, if it's named in the same way. To be clear, this can now be accessed from any Katana project you're working in, so you can set things up once and never have to do it again. You don't need to remember exactly how something was done. All you need to do at that point is just use one node. Over time, you'll end up creating a toolset that will really boost your efficiency. And that concludes this video. In the next episode, we'll cover creating macros in the form of groups and using reference expressions.